Yeah, and this is a reminder to everyone that, the as I often say, the real teacher is experience itself. Because I could say something like this is the Big Bang already, or someone like our friend Peter could say that, right? And that this is it. And those are just words, and they could be evocative. They could serve as an invitation for one to look and see what is here, explore what is here, discover its nature beyond what we tend to the ways we typically hold it conceptually, right? Because, and this is kind of to your first point, that how are we holding this conceptually? All sorts of ways, right? But several things I could say about the way that it's getting seemingly rendered and understood and known is through a kind of a mechanism that no one could fathom, of consciousness sort of basically taking something that's infinite and unresolvable and making it seem finite and definable, right? Making it look like something that's got definition and form and substance and continuity, right? Seems like that, doesn't it? That's how I can describe it and name it. And but what's so amazing is that it's as if there's these two worlds. They're not really two worlds at all, but they're experienced as very the sense of the two seeming worlds are so different. They're like 180 degrees different. Because the describable world, what seems limited, definable, manageable at some level, knowable, uh, and the experience world is unknowable, unlimited, indefinable, right? The described world seems, um, well, potentially not potentially, often a problem that has to be resolved, a potential threat, one that's divided and separate and lacking in various ways, right? Missing something, which is why we go on a search for something presumably better, right? Why do we imagine the grass is greener on the other side? Well, it has, logically speaking, it would have something to do with how we're defining the moment as being somehow inferior, as lacking, as not enough, right? So that's the defined world. And then the actual experience world is lacking what? That's defined into existence, lacking what? The moment is boundless and unfathomable. It lacks nothing. It is everything. There's no lack. You see, that's what I mean by the actual experience world, and then all the overlay of what we imagine that experience is are just 180 degrees apart, even though they're the same reality. But it's just an entirely, you could say, entirely different way to experience it. It's unlimited. There's no limit. No definition is no limit. That's what defining is. It puts the limits around what it is. It's this. That's the limit of it, isn't it? It's this. It's not that. But this is unlimited. It is beyond, it transcends all definitions and descriptions. And we can think about that and reflect upon that conceptually, the transcendental indescribability of this. But that only takes us so far. Better is to explore it experientially, to feel the way in which that is so. Because when you feel this moment, you do not come to the end of it, do you? You do not come to a conclusion of what it is when you feel this moment. The conceptualizing of the moment is the conclusions that we keep drawing about what it is, isn't it? It's this. That's my concept of it. I've come to a conclusion of what it is. The feeling of the moment has no conclusion, does it? It just keeps going. endlessly, the feeling of it. No conclusion.